Hello, my name is Chris, and welcome again to our 7th instructional video tutorial on CSC 151 and Introduction to Java Programming. For our 7th video, we'll be going over arrays, how to declare and create arrays, passing an array to a method, and multidimensional arrays. What are arrays? Arrays are data structures that consist of related data, all of the same type. Once an array is declared, its length is fixed and cannot be changed. Arrays are also objects. An array's elements, the items inside of an array, can be primitive or reference data types, and its data can be accessed by its index beginning with 0 and go through the length of the array. Arrays can be declared and initialized in a variety of different ways. This one here declares a new array and creates the array object named X and assigns it with 10 variables. The second way declares the array, while the next line creates the array and assigns the variables. And since we didn't initialize the variables, all the elements will be 0. But let's go ahead and display what's in the array. For this, we'll use a for loop. You see here we use the expression x.length. This will determine the length of the array for the loop, which for this array will be 10. To display the content of the array, we put x plus an open and closing square bracket plus an index number, which is represented here by the for loop counter. And when we run it, we see that the loop goes from 0 to 9, and all the data that is stored in the array is 0. Now, to initialize the variables inside of the array, we need an initializer list. This is a list of expressions that is inside of a set of curly braces. Here, I've created a 6-element array, and if I were to run this program, you see that now we have the index number displayed and the elements have been initialized. Also, you can see that the dot length expression only went to the end of the array again. If we were to put a number in here and it went outside the range of the array, we would get an out of bounds error. For our next program, we'll go over passing arrays to a method. Java allows us to pass by value when it comes to passing arguments to methods. This means that a copy of the argument's value is passed on to the calling method. Here we have an array initialized and then printed out. Next we call a method passArray, in which we pass the whole array. As you can see, the method takes an array parameter, and when the method is executed, it changes the second element to a 5. And as it prints out, we see the change in the array. Next, the program prints out the array element we changed as we go back to the main method, and you can see that the changes have still affected the array's element. Finally, we do another call to modify elements. Here, we only take a parameter of an int, which we pass the second array element to. The method changes the element to 10 and prints out 10, but when we go back to our main and print out the element again, we see that the changes have not taken effect. As we see, passing a copy of an array, we can modify an array, but passing a value will cause the effect to not hold because local variables are gone once the method executes. Lastly, I'll mention multidimensional arrays. Multidimensional arrays are arrays that require 2 or more dimensions to identify a particular element. These can be used to represent tables. The elements are identified in the forms of a row and a column. As you can see from the example here, when we run it, the first row prints out, then the second. We would call the element located at the first spot, which is 45, an index of 0, 0, because it's located on the first row, which is 0, and the first column, also 0. The 32 would have an index of 1, 2, located at the second row, which is 1, and the third column, which is 2. Also, as you can see, you can have multiple rows and columns that do not match. This will not affect the program. To print out the lines, we just call the array with the row and column that we need. So today we learned that arrays are data structures that consist of related data, all of the same type. Once they are declared, the array's length cannot be changed. We can pass data to methods using arrays, and we can have multidimensional arrays that we can use to represent tables with multiple rows and columns. Next time, we'll be going over inheritance and polymorphism. So until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.